All right, we're going to look at number 5, 2 and 3, or 2/3 plus 3/8. Again, we're looking at adding fractions. First thing I need to do is check my denominator. These are not like fractions because the denominators are not the same. They're unlike fractions, so we're following the rules for unlike fractions, which is to find a common denominator, the LCD. LCD. If I look between 3 and 8, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 6 is 18, and then 7 is 21, 8 is 24. If we go down, 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. None of those are common yet. 8 times 3 is 24. So there's my least common denominator. So I'm going to multiply my 2/3. I've got to get a common denominator of 24. So I'm going to multiply by 8 here. What I do to the top, I have to do the bottom. And then my 8, to get to a denominator of 24, I would multiply by 3. What I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So 2 times 8 is 16 over 24 plus 3 times 3 is 9 over 24. Now, the rules say when you're adding like fractions, which these are like fractions now, we're going to keep the denominator. So I'm leaving the 24. And I've said this over and over, I want you to write this step so you don't mess up, especially when we get different signs and all that. It's easiest if you write the steps, you don't mess up. 16 plus 9 is 25 over 24. Our instructions say to simplify if needed, so we need to simplify this. This is an improper fraction. To make it a mixed number, we're going to put top dog in the house. 25 is the top dog, it goes in the house. 24 goes on the outside. 24 goes into 25 one time. Multiply that, you get 24. Subtract, you get 1. That's the remainder of 1. So that's your numerator, and your denominator is 24. So you get an answer of 1 and 1/24. Now, as we're doing this, you need to be writing all of this. When I look at your review, for you to get full credit, if I wrote it, you write it. So on your review, you should have all of these written down. Okay, let's go ahead and look at number 6. Number 6, we're dealing with mixed numbers. Basically the same type thing. We're going to follow the steps for mixed numbers. Okay, I've got my notes out handy. I'm seeing every single step. So my first step says find a common denominator between 8 and 12. Okay, I know that 12 times 1 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24. Okay, on the 8, I know 8 times 8 is 1, 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 3 is 24. So there's my common denominator, 24. Okay, all right, that means I'm multiplying the 8 times 3, which means I multiply the numerator times 3. The 12 is going to be times 2 because remember, it's what we're trying to get our denominator to equal 24. And so I have to multiply this times 2. All right. Again, we're not concerned with our whole number yet. We're just dealing with the fractions. 1 times 3 is 3. 8 times 3 is 24. 5 times 2 is 10. And 12 times 2 is 24. Okay. Now I'll follow the sign here. I'm going to add my fractions. My second rule says keep the denominator the same. So I have 3/24 plus 10/24. Keep the denominator the same. If you follow these steps and you do it as I'm doing it, it's less chance of you messing up and skipping a step and messing up the whole problem. So I add the numerators, 3 plus 10. 3 plus 10 is 13 over, again, keep the denominator. Okay, that was rule number 3 where it said add or subtract the numerator based on the sign. Okay, number 4 says simplify the fraction. I'm looking at 13 over 24. 13 is a prime number, so that can't be reduced, so that stays as is. Step 5 says to add or subtract the whole number based on the sign. Well, my sign tells me to add. So 2 plus 1. That's a tough one. 2 plus 1, 2 plus 1, what is that number? Oh yeah, okay, 3. Just seeing if y'all are paying attention here. 3, and then we add that fraction to it, 13 over 24. And that is my answer.